Hello, what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome to the Sweet Life Cafe. I'm just pouring my drink, the Sweet Life Cafe. You guys would have seen me like 2 minutes ago. Hey Lela, I'm gonna bring you in just a second. I got you, girl, I got you. I'm gonna do a couple of announcements. Everybody get your drinks. We're in the Sweet Life Cafe. This is my cafe, my own personal little cafe space that I bring amazing women into. Let me turn my music down a little bit. And we talk. Sometimes I come on here live and just talk to you about stuff. Bring you some little information, inspiration, and motivation. Same as I do on the podcast. If you ever caught that, Getting Made with Stephanie J. That's my podcast. Let me turn this volume down. Yes, so I'm here tonight. Back again. Steffi's back. Back again. Back here on a Thursday night. Yes, yes, yes. So you guys don't always see me on Thursday nights. You used to see me on Tuesday nights. But I had a very special young lady that I wanted to bring in. She has inspired me so much to push past anything that would make me not want to work hard and make me want to work harder and make me want to just move past any excuses. And so that's why I'm here tonight. So I am going to get my music down here. Got a few announcements before I bring her in. Let me get a sip of my drink here. I got sparkling water tonight. May have a glass of wine after this though, because it's been quite a week. Okay, so you guys, welcome to Sweet Life with Stephanie J. I am Stephanie J. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a life coach, a mom, a nurse, and a woman who's experienced trauma, who is just ready to take on life and help other women move past their trauma and move past their challenges and move into the fullness of their life. And so I bring you women who have businesses, who have experiences, and I share them on this platform to encourage you, to inform you, and to motivate you to live a life that you really want to live. And so also tell about their products that have been really helpful to me. So I like to share those products. I also share some of my other favorite products here. But tonight on the Sweet Life Cafe, we have Lela from Rajean Beauty. I'm going to bring her in just a second. First, a few announcements. Number one, the Trigger Traps class is live. Yes, and there's some women that are really enjoying it. I thank you guys so much. The ones who have been able to log in and start working on it, thank you so much for entering that class and joining that new master class. I will re-release it again in November to get you ready for what could trigger you during the holiday time. So look for that sometime in November. My hair's doing weird stuff today. What else do we have for you? Thank you. Okay, new collaboration. I have a new collaboration with Walmart. Yay! So I'll be bringing you, not here, but on this IG, I'll be bringing you some of my Walmart, which you've already seen some of my Walmart favorites. And I'll continue the other collaborations like Target and bringing you great stuff from other places that I love. What else do I have here? May 8th through the 10th in Miami Beach. You have to come there. My girlfriend from the social media world, Marissa Janae, we have collaborated. She is bringing me in to speak at her conference. So I'll be speaking in Miami in May at her conference, the Blueprint Conference and Retreat. It's a conference for men, for women, and for couples. In this conference, I'm going to tell you just the topics they're going to talk about. Singleness. We're going to talk about courting and dating versus dating, courting versus dating, marriage, faith, purpose, and self-love. And your girl's going to be on the stage talking about self-love. So I am very excited. So get your tickets. If you go to my link in my bio, I've actually linked Marissa's tickets there. So you can go to the Blueprint Conference, click that, and you can get your ticket. The tickets are at a steal right now. She's going to raise the prices, I believe October 1st. She's going to raise the prices. So get your ticket right now. This is going to be a platform full of powerhouse speakers. I am going to be there, and there's going to be some people way above me there, so I'm excited to listen to them, and I'm going to get a chance to have a little relaxation while I'm there. So I'm much, much, much needed. So definitely get your ticket. Head to my link in my bio, or you can go to Marissa's page at the only Marissa Janae, or form her the Blueprint. So, yes. So, I'm going to go ahead and get things started here. Let me get one more sip. And if you don't get to catch all of this live, it will be up for 24 hours. And as I always do, I'll record it and you'll see it at a later date on YouTube. So, let me go ahead and grab... Oh, there she is. Regina, all right? Layla, I just added you, so you should get a notification here soon to join me. There she is.
Hi.
Hey, girl. Oh, it's not. It's not. Are you hot out there? Because I know it's pretty
I'm
warm
not
out. Are you hot out there? Because I know it's. Are you outside?
and things like that. And yeah, it was super hot. But I'm sitting in the shade right now, just kind of kicking back and taking a load
Okay.
off. So
Okay,
all is
good.
well.
Well, welcome. Welcome to the Sweet Life Cafe. Well, tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about who you are and what you do.
So I'm Lela Camille. My company name is Rajean Beauty. It is a natural skincare company. I specialize in shea butters and sugar scrubs. I'll do a quick promo really quick, really quick. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Yeah, the good stuff. So I have unscented, I have fragranced, shea butters, and sugar scrubs that get your whole life together. Right? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So I was super excited when I
Ray,
met Layla. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's okay. No, I was just gonna say the app is available on Apple and Android. You can just search Rajean Beauty, Rajean Beauty, 2 words. That part right there, the good stuff. Yes, ma'am. I see you digging in the jar.
Oh, you see, I have been digging
I
every
see
night.
digging.
Every night, and this one's still this
Nice.
one's saved. So that's how it looks when you get it. That's how it
Right.
looks,
Yeah.
beautifully swirled. Don't want to touch it, but
Yeah.
you're going to want to touch it a whole bunch. Oh, I love this stuff. I'm really
Yes.
loving this product, by the way. My feet really are loving
Thank you.
it. So I'm just gonna show a little sample, and then we'll go into. So I'm just gonna. I kind of was like trying not to find like an ashy area right here. Like
Right.
that's kind of ashy, but just gonna show
Yes.
how that rubs in.
Yeah. Silky.
So silky, so soft.
Mm-hmm.
Smells so good. Great fragrances. So
Thank
tell us a
you.
little bit about how you even got started. Like, take us
Yeah.
back.
Take you back. So I was working on a music project, and the project name was going to be Perfume. The intention was to have a song for every track. It was going to be like maybe 6 to 8 tracks. And the intention was to have a song for every song title to have a fragrance of perfume. So I started researching how you create perfume and, the top notes, base notes, heart notes, all that stuff, right? And realized it was way more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Way more time consuming, and I did not do well in chemistry. So it was kind of like this. I don't think this is going to work out. But right around that same time, I had just really gotten into shea butter, using it for myself, and I absolutely loved what it was doing for my skin. I just didn't really like how hard it is, like trying to knead it, before you use it, and it smells really nutty, and it's cool, but I'm a girly girl. I'm completely a sensory person, and so things that smell good are on my top of my list of things
Yeah,
that I
I
love.
think that's
So
most of us are like that, right?
yeah, so what I did was I started playing around with the fragrances in the shea butters and using them for myself. And I had a lot of people asking me, like, where'd you get that from? And, when they found out that I made it myself, the question then was usually, well, will you make me some? I'll pay you for it. And it was kind of like, ding,
Wow.
this could be something, which I didn't really explore. And I guess I'll get into why I didn't in a little bit here, but I didn't really explore that very much until a couple years later. I was having a conversation with someone extremely close to me about what moving into 30 looked like. And, I said to myself, I want 2 to 3 additional streams of revenue that do not require me clocking in for somebody else. And I don't know what that looks
Amen on
like.
that. Amen on
Yeah, like
that. Look,
what
I'm
that's
saying
going to
that at
be.
50. I said that at 50. See, you're way smarter than me because you learned that at 30. I didn't say that till 50. So that's why I learned, like, I'm learning every day from other people. So that's like
Yeah.
to actually catch that early, that is smart.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we really just sat and took inventory of like, what are you great at that you can commit to and get behind that we can monetize on? And one of them was the music. I am also an avid cook, if I can say so myself.
What? I didn't know that.
Love cooking. That's later down the
Oh,
road,
yeah, we did
but
talk
you know.
about that, yeah.
So that was another thing, finding a way to get that in there. But then
Mm-hmm.
what is something that's possible to do right now?
Mm-hmm.
And the shea butter was simple. The market is wide open.
Wow.
And you know, if your heart is in something and you commit to it, then the paths open up for you. So I
That is
took a
so true. I mean, it's almost
that's
like your steps were already lined up. So, cause music, so you threw that in like real quick,
yeah.
like you just snapped that
We
in
just brushed
there.
past it.
What is
Yeah.
this about music? Like, did you
Yeah.
perform? Like, tell us a little bit about that time when you were doing music, or are you still
Yeah.
doing music?
I am. I am actually working on a couple of projects
Okay.
in that regard. I haven't really gone too far into them yet because I've been consistently backpacking all across Cincinnati right now.
Well, we don't, let's
But
not even. I want to tell them about this because not yet. I want to leave that for later because that has absolutely intrigued me. But
yeah, we'll get to it. We'll
we'll
get to
get to that one.
it. Yeah, so there, you know, I went to take a trip down to Nashville, and it was kind of a getaway just to clear my head, find some inspiration, and come back fresh. And when I tell you, God was all over this trip. The woman whose Airbnb that I ended up going to was a middle-aged black woman who had no children, but a wealth of knowledge that she was more than eager to share with somebody, anybody who would have soaked it up. And she used to be in the Chamber of Commerce for Memphis, Tennessee, and had moved to Nashville and started up her own business utilizing the information that she'd learned working for Memphis and helping women and minorities
She had
write grants
all kinds
for,
of business knowledge.
oh my gosh. And I spent that whole weekend just sitting up under her, just talking to her. And she just poured so much into me that when I, you know, that 6.5 hour ride back to Indiana was just like, I'm wired. I don't know what this next phase is about to look like, but I feel like this is it, you know. And I
Mm-hmm.
came back with the battery in my back, and we set some things in motion and got going on it, and that's where we really started. So this past January, I got my LLC. So Rajean Beauty became official.
Yay!
Yeah. But driving back and forth from Fort Wayne, Indiana to Cincinnati every other weekend probably began roughly in about February-ish.
Oh, really? Gosh, and that's
Yeah,
what the weather is like the worst.
it was there about, yeah, that we just were back and forth. And every other weekend, I would just pack up what inventory I had and drive out here and move around to the barbershops and the beauty salons and introduce myself and just let people try it. And then that was the thing. Like, if I can get you to let me let you try it, that's all I need. It sells itself, and it's amazing. And you can, you know, you can experience the love that's in it. For everything down to the packaging, the presentation, you know, the way that it feels, the reaction that I get from it.
Oh, I remember when. So I met Lela at a. I mean, I had not done any networking, and so we
Yeah,
both ended up at this networking event. And she asked a question, and I can't remember what the question was. I can't remember what it was,
I
but
think
I
I
remember
remember what it was.
I can't either. But I remember when you asked that question, I was like, I gotta talk to this lady afterwards because I like the way her head is going. And we
Yeah.
sat there. She pulled out her little sample. And I loved it that she had a sample. I was hoping she was going to give me the sample. She just said, take a
Oh,
dab. I was like, oh.
yeah.
I was like, this is nice. Can I get a little more than this
Can
little
I take
little
one?
dab? And so she gave me a little sample. I was like, oh, this is really nice. And I was like, we need to talk more. We need to talk more because
Yes.
the question I can't remember what the question you asked,
I'm pretty
but
sure I asked about creative fundraising
yes,
because we were
that's what it
there, and
was.
it's the women's business conference
Mm-hmm.
that we were at, where the center, Women's Business Center, is where we were at, and everyone's speaking about loans and grants and things like that. And you know, I'll be honest with you, my credit is not amazing. I don't have I don't have any business experience prior to this, any of that. I'm starting literally from the ground and trying to get to where I see this thing going. And reaching out for a loan, first off, I don't want to have to owe anybody. I'll be honest. You know,
Hello,
I just
I'm with
don't,
you.
if I don't have to. And, you know, second of all, there's always more than one way to get things done. And
I love that mindset. See, that when you asked that question, like seriously, I was like, yes, because that's what they did. They kept talking about loans and way to get money, start your
yeah,
business, and like me and my husband, we don't want to do that. Like we want to, like Dave Ramsey says, cash is king. Do it with
exactly.
your cash. You got the cash, you do it with your cash.
And
She
if you
said, Michelle,
don't
come through with the
get the,
fade. She's out.
hey,
Yeah.
thank you.
But when you sit up and ask that, and I was like, and you were serious too. You were like,
Yeah,
somebody give me an answer, and I was
yeah,
like, okay, she's on the same wavelength that I'm on, because I don't want to owe anybody. I want to come into this like using every penny I got, but building it
yeah.
from every penny I got, not somebody else's money. Like,
And
not
it
the
was kind of
actual.
funny. There were crickets in the room. Like
There
I asked the
was crickets in
question,
the
and
room.
everyone
There
kind of looked
was.
like, oh,
Yeah,
like,
that's why it intrigued me so much, because I was like, she just blew their minds. And that was a
yeah,
legit question that I wanted to know. Like, that's always been like my question, like, how can I get the funding to do this? But you
yeah,
were like, when you asked that, that was so on point. And I knew, I'm like, I gotta look. Did you see me like run to you when it
yeah.
ended? I was like,
I know.
hey.
I know you're like, my name's Stephanie.
Like in fifth grade, my name's Stephanie. What's yours?
It was cool. Did you notice we never got an answer to that question though?
We never got an answer.
There was
No.
never an
Mm-mm.
answer. Yeah.
No.
So, oh
That it
well, here
was
we are.
crickets, but I appreciate that you're keeping it moving, and I was looking at your motto, which I absolutely love, which kind of makes me think about when you went to Nashville, that you didn't know you were going to find what you're looking for, but you were open to the beauty of what this
Yeah.
woman had to offer. And I'm just going to read her motto, because I don't have it memorized, obviously. Pursue beauty in all things. My brand is a skincare product that aids in the upkeep and shine of a consumer's skin. But the beauty of our brand is it allows us to investigate the world around us and be inspired by all that we find.
Yes.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. I think we all forget, that one little piece of, and that's why I guess I think I'm like trying to be more open to meet more people, because I've become so much more inspired and aware by people that I'm meeting now, like more than the people I've kept myself around. Which
Right.
sometimes, like I think, and there's a Bible and Lot in the Bible. I think was it Abraham? No, Abraham. God told him to go to another country, like to leave where he was, to leave
Mhm.
the people that you're with, and what your blessings are outside of that. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's when I heard that. I was like, it's time for me to start getting from behind my house,
Yep.
out of my house, leave this
Yep.
country, and go out in. And when I met you, I was like, okay, that was one of the things I was like,
Yeah.
this was a good thing. So let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about what is this? Like, was this your only income? Did you drop every job you have to take this? Like, how did this all flow into you
Yeah.
taking these
So
steps?
I was actually working in finance when I got started. I was a case coordinator at a financial institute, and I'm sitting at a desk all day, literally 8 to 12 hours a day.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, handling, cases for annuities for sometimes $2 million contracts. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't even afford the product I'm processing. Like even on the lower end, people who send in, and open cases for 20 to 50,000. I'm not in that position, but it's eye-opening, because with everything that I have in my arsenal, why aren't I? Why is that not the case? And
We should all ask ourselves that question, like seriously.
yeah, absolutely. And so I started to get really antsy when we started putting it all together, because I'm seeing it unfold. I'm watching people's reaction. Literally, the marketing research was expanding and unfolding before my eyes. I had done some basic like research of my competition, the product, price point, things of that sort. But what people say when you go into a PR meeting, or when you go to meet with a business consultant and they're asking you for your customer profile and, all of the projections that are supposed to go into a business plan, I had none of that. It wrote itself as I was going along, because every single person is having the exact same reaction to the product, to me, to, the brand, the presentation, And when you see the same thing unfold in front of you multiple times, you begin to be able to be like, okay, I think I can rely on that. I think that if, 100+ people have had the same experience, then it's safe to say the next 20 that walk up might do the
How
same,
long did you, before you left the finance job and said, this is what I'm going to do?
So I started actually, I guess, moving around with the backpack. I hadn't coined the term yet, but right around, I want to say it was Black Friday weekend or so. I just kind of 2018, yeah.
Okay.
I just went to.
Let's talk about the backpacking now, because I'm totally intrigued by this. I think it just shows who you are.
Well, it's I guess that's where I have to start with it, because that was the first time I ever went out and just approached random people with my product, like, hey, just try this and let's see, and it was great. But of course, you're positioning yourself going to the mall on Black Friday to be where there are a lot of people.
Oh gosh, so that's what you did?
That's what I did. I went to the mall with my backpack and just walked up to random people and asked them to try it. And it was like, okay, this is great. But also, when you're in the mall and you walk up to a random person, they're kind of side-eyeing you like, we aren't so keen on just this random person coming to solicit to me all the time. So I started to think about, okay, where can I put myself where people are more likely in that headspace already?
So
and I
what
thought
is your
about
backpack full of?
shea butters, sugar scrubs, beard and hair oils. Yeah.
Just in case people get confused.
Business cards. Yeah, no illegal stuff.
No, I just want to make sure, like, we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we're all on the same page. Moving around with the backpack, I have all of my products in my backpack. It's like my store is with me all the time. And so I sat down and mapped out the beauty salons and the barbershops that were in my area, and thought to myself, Thursday, Friday, Saturday-ish is when most people will go and get their hair done. Let me just make a route of it and see what happens. And that first time, I'll tell you, I was completely nervous and really... I'm
getting anxiety just
thinking about it. Yeah. And the very first shop I went to, I sat in the parking lot for a nice little minute before I got out, because I was like, how am I gonna introduce myself? Like, you're setting yourself up for possible rejection, all of that. And I was nervous, but I was like, well, and honestly, I was getting ready to go to Brooklyn to work on another music project and needed the funding for it. And so, gotta do what you gotta do. I got these containers and this shea butter, and I'm gonna go and get these sales so I can take this trip. And that's what it was. But the way that it went, and the response that I got was so great that it was like, oh, this could be that. You know what I mean?
So you had a huge response the first time you went out?
Huge response, yeah. And that was just in my hometown at that point. So the first time I ever came to Cincinnati, it was the same thing. I was on my way out here just for a trip, period. It wasn't for that.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, just was coming out here to enjoy the city and pack the trunk up with everything that I had. And when I got here that next morning, I went and had breakfast and mapped out where the beauty salons and the barbershops were, and made a day of it. And one thing that I will say, Cincinnati has been so receptive and so just incredible to me. Like, I'm not from here. I don't know any of these people. I have no background here. And everyone is so warm and welcome, and just like, I'm in your territory. You know what I mean? And it's not that. There's an entrepreneurial spirit that's here in this city, to where it's almost as if people expect, for someone to be grinding in some way, shape, or form.
To hear you say that, and Simply Natural Belle just said, I need some of that encouragement. Girl, that's why I had her on, because she had me like, I need to not have no excuses. I need to be doing what I need to do, and just putting it to the grind.
Let's not get it twisted. I still am. Even times when I approach a new shop that I haven't been to yet, there's still some anxiety. I'm still nervous about it, and I am a very fearful individual in general, period. My entire life has been lived in fear. I created a scenario for myself where I have no choice but to get out of that, but it's still a daily fight, daily on so many levels. So, and
What are
that's
some
partly
of the
why.
biggest challenges that you're facing, that you face, like just taking this head on?
Well, one, just personal stuff, you know, being the face of your company puts you in a position where you are always on PR mode.
Yeah, that is so true.
I cannot be caught slipping.
That is so true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
Supernatural said yes. That is so true. That is
Yeah.
like, because it's funny. I was driving from work today, and like, usually that's like my quiet time, before I know, like, especially when I know if I have a live. And one of
Yeah.
a girl that I know from high school called me, and she had called me twice already, and I
Hmm.
just been too busy, so I was like, I have to answer this call. And
Yeah.
she's like, you sound tired, you don't sound like your normal peppy self. I'm like,
Aw.
no, this is just my little downtime, you know what I mean? People like are
Yeah.
like, I'm like, I just,
Yeah.
this little half an hour.
Right. Like
Come in
sometimes
and
you just need a
so
moment.
yeah, you're definitely always on. It's always on. And I was
Yes.
like, like, yeah, I'm still the same person, but like, this is just the time. When people call me on my way home from work, they always say that
Yeah.
about me, because usually I'm like, that's my settle down from that and then come home to this
Right.
thing. But
Phase into the next thing. Yep. I get it. Yeah. I mean, that's been the biggest thing. But then also, um, just being mindful in every
mm,
scenario. You know, you kind of spoke on that a little bit earlier of just when you're in these different places, being aware of the reason for you being there presenting itself. You know, sometimes things will happen, especially me being out with the backpack, where I was on my way to a shop that I would normally go to, and for the first time, I just noticed one in this other corner that I've never seen before, and it's like, oh, like let me
wow.
slide over here, and then you meet someone and maybe have a quick encounter or a conversation or something that's just that moment where it's like, okay, that's why I took that right turn, instead of keeping straight or something. You just never know. And I have a tendency to be aloof sometimes. I'm in my own world. I'm just moseying on through life.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that.
Yeah. And so being aware, always aware and paying attention so that when those moments present themselves,
Mm.
you're present for it. Yeah.
And that's a
Sometimes it's
challenge.
about sometimes it's about receiving a blessing and sometimes it's about being one.
Amen. Well, that's
You
like
got to
me
be
answering
open
that
to it either
call
way.
today from that girl. Like, I almost wasn't going to answer, but it was weird. Something that I went through, like, actually the day before, she's calling me about.
Mm-hmm.
And she needed encouragement for something. I was like, wow, that's so crazy, because I
Yeah.
just dealt with something similar to this, and this is how I dealt with it. She's like, I can't tell you how much that helped me.
Yeah.
And had I not answered her call, even though I was like, oh, I really
You
need
weren't feeling it.
this moment, but I'm gonna, God told me to answer that call, and it was just really ironic that I had just gone through something, and she was right there with the same. As Century Natural said, the same. It's so true. So yeah, you got to be aware of and just be open to take that step, even when you're not in the mood or you feel like it, or you're scared, or and it's so easy. Like, I did something today, and this week I applied to speak at this event, and I was like,
Right.
submit.
Now I've
I'm like,
committed.
it's gone now.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my gosh, if I get this, I'm going to be so scared when I do it.
Yeah.
As a major stage, I'm going to be so scared if God blesses me with it. But I pray he does. If he doesn't, I'm going to apply next year. I know I'm applying next year, because this is something I really want to do. But
and let it grow you.
yeah, so I was just hitting that submit button was, whew.
Right? You're like,
I left it up on the screen for about 30 minutes. And I was like,
nice.
Okay, check out my spelling. Everything's in there.
Everything's good.
Okay.
Let it go.
Okay, and then I did. Finally, I was like, what are you waiting for, God? I prayed over it, and I was like, submit. If it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, I just feel it in my heart. It's for me. Maybe not this year. Maybe not next year, but it will be. But yeah,
I promise that's it. That's it. When it's for you, that's it.
That is crazy that you go around with a backpack. So how do you stay motivated to do that every day? Because this is what you do all the time, don't you?
Well, so that kind of just on the most shallow level, I did quit my job for this. So this is it. So there is no room for not being motivated.
That's a good motivator.
That's a great motivator. But no, the shea butter is phenomenal, and I pour my heart into it, and I really enjoy.
I'm going to show it again for people who just joined. So
that, yeah. The creamy goodness.
This is what I've been digging into ever since. What was that?
Right.
Since Labor Day.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks now, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't used that much, but I use it every single night and every single morning.
A little goes a long way.
Yeah. So I can take about this much, and I can like moisturize my skin and just really.
Yeah. It's great for eczema too. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, wow. Seriously? I think it's great for dry feet. Let me just tell you that much. Great for dry feet.
Well, then there's that too.
I'm just saying. Your girl's got some dry feet, and it's definitely making a difference. I was telling my husband, I was like, feel my feet. He's like, oh, God. I'm like, no, they're like really soft now. Like, they're legit.
Yeah.
He wasn't completely convinced. I was like, you have to feel them.
You're gonna just do me the favor. Humor me, feel it.
so I can tell Lela, and she can put it on for her her, what do you call that?
My reviews.
Yes, for her reviews. Like even the worst feet, it can make better.
There is hope.
Well, you talked about some of the challenges. Do you want to talk a little bit more? Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs on here, and I love that you're on right now. And a lot of them are really trying to make their change and do their thing right now. Yeah. Can you just talk about some of those challenges and how you deal with them?
Yeah. Well, so to go back to what I was saying, I absolutely love doing this, and I do pour my heart into it. But the shea butter is really only the vehicle for the bigger picture. Because let's not forget that the question I initially asked was, what all of my gifts and talents can I jump in on and commit to, and all of that. So this is just the vehicle for all of the things that I could potentially offer to the world, all of the ways that I can try and put other people in a position to utilize their gifts and be a blessing to the world. So keep buying the shea butter because it's going to allow me to do everything else.
Right. And that is so true because, the more you have, the more you can help. That's how I always feel.
Exactly.
Like when God blesses my business, then I can do more to help more people.
Right.
And, that's how it's going to work. And that's how it's going to work for all of us supporting each other.
Yeah,
especially entrepreneurs. We support the big business. We support the big store. I love me some Target, every day.
Don't we all?
Oh yeah, I love me some Target. But I think about people like you, and then some of my other friends that are on here, and who are trying to build businesses on their own to take care of their families, not to build a $1 billion house, but to pay rent, and pay mortgage,
exactly,
pay cable, and pay phone.
Exactly.
So
so
you're a great example of that.
And I think the biggest challenge in that is, one, keeping focus on the vision and remembering on a consistent basis that is really not about me or my butter, to be honest.
Wow.
It's a piece of the puzzle. And so I guess, and I suppose that answers both of your questions, because that's also the bigger motivator too. That is a huge part of why I continue to get up and spend hours whipping the butter and then turning around and going out and selling it. And, even when you're not feeling that good and your head's hurting or whatever, and you just put the smile on and you just move on anyway, because it's bigger than that. And I think beyond that the largest challenge, the largest challenge is the fact that I've never been here before.
Right. So tell them about that, because I don't think we even covered your transition.
Yeah. Where
you're originally from. And how you got here?
I'm from Michigan originally. Saginaw, Michigan is my hometown. I moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and stayed there for, Indiana period, for about 8 years. And now I'm here in Cincy. So my background and resume is extremely eclectic. There are all kinds of things in there that led me to where I am now. But the transition moving here into Cincy has been fairly smooth in that the way was paved because of those trips very early on, and because the city has been extremely receptive and welcoming and warm, and to the point where people are anticipating and hoping, when am I going to see you again? When will you be back? And it's not always just about the butter. So
I'm going to tell
really
them
dope.
more, because you kind of went forward, but she was coming back and forth to Cincinnati since February, because you were telling Cincinnati was like, you were finding more shops and stuff that were receptive. Driving back and forth, and then just moved here.
Yeah.
Like, just up and moved to a different city. Like, that to me, like, I've lived in the same city my whole life, so like maybe that's just me that's intrigued by that and so inspired by that. Maybe that's just me, because I haven't moved. But that you like picked up everything and moved to a completely new city to set up your business. Like, it
was one of those right turns that I was just talking about. I literally came out here. There was no true intention in that initial trip. But what came from that was just like the city just kept speaking. Like, this is where you need to be. This is where you need to be. And, you know, every time that I doubted or thought maybe that wasn't the case, or that I'm just like, I'm gassing it. You know, it's not really that. No, this is where you need to be. And even to the point of sometimes, you know, you go somewhere, and I've been down in the OTR area very often. And I know that there is a fairly decent size homeless population.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people just stop and really pay attention, but sometimes if you're listening and you're not so wrapped up in your day-to-day that you just walk past them like they're not there, but sometimes you will get a whole word just allowing someone who has lost everything to speak to you for just a moment. A whole word. And they have no idea who they talking to. They don't know that they're pouring into your life. They just talk and they struggle. And, you know, you hear something that was meant just for you because you just chose to listen for a minute.
That seems like that's just the theme of your life. Like, I just listening to you talk about it, like, that truly is the theme of your life, that you listen, you're aware.
It hasn't always been that way.
But you're only 30.
Yeah, I know.
30.
31.
You're
31
so
now.
young. Like, that's so impressive. Like, that I don't know if you realize that this is coming from an older person. That's like so impressive to be that in tune with what God is telling you to do, number one, at 30. Because I wasn't at 30. I guarantee you it took me till about 40 to get, maybe longer than that. Maybe about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
To really get in tune to what God is saying, and to just move too. Like, not to be hesitant. Like, you haven't been hesitant at all when God's told you to move. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. You need to give yourself a pat on the back, like, for real.
Thank you.
And that you stay inspired every day. But you don't do this alone. You do have a little partner. I know.
I
like
do.
I know.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I'm slowly building a team to help with things, but then also, like, we help each other. This is a lot. It's a lot. And like I said, I've never been here before. And I don't mean that literally in this particular area. Like, what I'm doing is unprecedented for myself and really, period, in this sector. There are not a lot of natural skincare companies that are taking the route that we're choosing to take, offering more than just the skincare. And I haven't really dove into that much yet because we're not really in a position to yet, but it's coming.
Okay, it's coming.
It's coming.
Well, I'm glad I met you, like, on the bottom floor here. Like, I was telling Stephanie Matar here, like, both of you are starting, like, I can see the growth in you, and I can see that both of you are going to do amazing things. But, like, I'm, like, so glad that I'm meeting you on this end. So, like, when I come back to you, you know, when you're up here,
it's not like,
I have the video to prove that we were here together. So, number one, I have the video to prove it, and I might come back and say, hey, remember me? Like, let's work together. And you might be like, who are you? Like, no, here's the video.
Totally wouldn't do that.
2019, September 12th.
I totally wouldn't do that.
I know. I don't think you would. Oh, my gosh. Does anybody have any questions? I know there are several entrepreneurs on here. Like I think actually, everyone I can see come through, I know they're entrepreneurs, and I know how challenging it is. I'm actually working. One of my friends, she's working on starting a nail shop right here in Cincinnati. I'm gonna hook you
Nice.
guys up. But
Yay!
just knowing like the challenges it takes to be able to
Started from the bottom.
start from the
Yes.
bottom, and like I said, when I said in the promo, like she is literally taking her product to the streets. And like I said earlier, I'm like, I hear people all the time complaining that I don't have anyone to buy my product. Like no one's coming to me, and you're breaking that mold.
Yeah. Again, I'm not, this is not my home per se. Like it is now, but I'm not from here. And so I can't move to a big city with big city dreams and then set up shop somewhere and sit like I'm at a lemonade stand and hope
How
that
long have you
someone's going
been
to come
here?
find me. 3 months now.
Oh
Barely.
gosh, yeah. Oh wow.
Barely. Yeah.
You probably seen more of the city than I have.
I mean, there's a lot of it, so
I've been here my whole life, and you probably have seen more of Cincinnati than I have my whole life.
We're gonna have to fix that.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah.
You get like stuff. I'm trying. And told me coming out to the event I saw you at was the first time that I went to like a businesswoman event in this city. That was the very first time. I mean, I've only had this business for like a year, like a little over a year and a half. But that was the first time where I was like, I told myself, like, I'm like, you need to get out and you need to start meeting some people.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah, and that's one of the anxiety. And I'm like a really social person, which makes it even weirder that I'm like super social and I love people. But that initially I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
like, what if no one talks to me? What if I'm like sitting in a corner by myself?
I think that's all of us, though.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like, you put me somewhere where there's a lot of people to talk to and to move around the room, and I'm good with that. But just initiating random conversation with strangers is like,
yeah, first like.
So I get it. It's the fear of rejection. It's the fear of. I'll be honest, I think sometimes it's the fear of people seeing you for you.
Yeah.
If you don't want them to.
Oh, true. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And then that fact of always being like, being genuine enough that you're always yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
That you're always yourself.
And I hope that people are okay with that.
Yeah. When you start opening up these platforms, and that's one of the things that like I used to be afraid to do. Like, I mean, it took me a long time to say like I'm gonna go live or I'm gonna do that, and because I'd start thinking about what people would think, like what are they gonna think of me? I mean, I'm sure with you, what are they gonna think when I walk in this shop? Like, what are they gonna think about me?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I went into a shop one time. Thankfully, it was a place that I'd been a bunch of times, and it wasn't super busy, and the guys were like really cool about it. But I went into the shop and I had these pants on. And when I first put them on, everything was fine. Everything had been fine the whole day. And I'm on my way out of the shop, and one of the guys pulls me to the side, and he's like, "Hey, I don't know if those are supposed to be like that, but like, there's a huge hole in the back of literally my entire ass was out." Listen, I had no idea. And so, like, imagine had I walked into the next place. So now I'm constantly, like, checking to make sure, like, is everything good? Am I straight? Because you just, you never know. And that could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. And you're walking to, like, a barbershop?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of all the places. Although sometimes women are worse than that. Sometimes you can have something wrong, and women will have you walk in, and they won't say anything to you. They'll let you walk around looking crazy and looking some kind of way. Oh my God, this has been so good. So I just want to recap for people, those of you who are just coming in, this has been such a rich conversation. Anybody has questions, please make sure you put them in there. So I'm on here with Lela Camille, who is with Rajean. Oh, what does the name of your company mean?
Okay,
we're going to talk about.
Right, Rajean is spelled Rajean, and it actually means victory of the people.
Oh, wow.
Which I didn't know until I had settled on the name. I had already settled on it. I was like, this is what it's going to be, and ended up looking it up later to find out that's what it meant.
Oh, wow. That's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
So Layla, and those of you who are just popping in, Layla literally, she was from Indiana, well, Michigan
By way of
by way of
Indiana.
Indiana,
Yeah.
and she has a product, her body butters, scrubs, and she actually moved here. She was driving here every other week, every other weekend, bringing a backpack, going from shop to shop, distributing and selling her products.
Yeah.
No shame, moving past the fear,
Yeah.
going in the shop she didn't know. So she mapped out all the stores in the Cincinnati area. And then 3 months ago, started this in February of this year.
Yeah.
No, November of last
Mm,
year.
yeah. Yep.
Started coming here in February of this year and moved here 3 months ago and
Hmm.
has been going around the city to every shop. And it's funny
Yeah.
because one time when you text me and I wasn't thinking about backpacking, about backpacking, and I was like, oh, do you want to go to this event? You're like, well, I'm backpacking. I'm like, oh, she's gonna
What does
be.
that even
Well, I'm
mean?
thinking like, when you go backpacking and you go like hiking, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's hiking. And I was like, why are you
No. Well, I
backpacking? You're like,
mean,
Mount Healthy. I was like, oh, with her product. I'm like, there's nowhere to
yeah.
backpack in Mount Healthy.
Yeah.
It
I
took me
mean,
a
you could
second.
consider it hiking. It's, similar, I guess.
But she literally has a backpack full of her product
Yeah.
and goes from shop to shop, maps it out to sell her product. Has
Yeah.
moved here because she's had such a good response. And then just is open. So if you want to hear the rest of her story, you got to watch this replay because there's so much more to this
Yeah.
than what I just said. I kind of gave you the
that
very,
was
very,
the
very,
short of it.
very, very abbreviated version.
Yes.
Well, this has been so good. This has
Thank you
been
so
so good. And
much.
I know that your story has inspired other women, especially women entrepreneurs that are really trying to build their business and, are frustrated or scared or losing
Yeah.
confidence, that, you just got to keep pushing forward and move past that fear. And don't
Now,
let that
I
stop
do
you.
I want to throw this out here because earlier we talked about the fact that we never received an answer to our question at that
Oh,
conference.
yes. Yes.
Um,
So the question we asked were, are there creative ways to raise funds for an entrepreneur?
right. So what I've done here recently, because I'm looking to actually open a retail store in the very, very near future. And I sent out an email to all of the customers that had been in my database, just letting them know, that none of this is possible without them, that I truly appreciate them. And that's absolutely the case. Like, they've been incredible. Word of mouth is everything, I'm telling you. I get phone calls on a consistent basis from someone who heard about me from someone else. And I just appreciate it so much. We've gotten to a point where a retail location is imminent. It's necessary. And
Wow.
to reach out to your
I'm so
customers
inspired too.
and thank them and ask them. A lot of times we think investing into a company requires a few $100s or a few $1,000s, when in all honesty, if there are enough people who believe enough to just send 10 to 20 bucks, all it takes is 100 people to send $10 to make 1,000.
Wow, that's so true.
So I sent an email out
Gosh.
asking, and just really giving them the opportunity to hear how much they're appreciated, and that if they really believe in it and want to pour in, this is how you do it. And I've had multiple people cash app anywhere from $10 to $100 to just help out with the
Layla.
cause. Yeah. So if anyone is
So
interested, my cash app is $
go ahead.
Rajean Beauty. It's $RAJEAN Beauty, all one word. And yeah, I just really, 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 really appreciate all of the love and the support from out here. That people have just been amazing. It means a lot to me.
That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Not letting anything stop you and like finding your own creative ways. I never would have thought of that. So
Yeah,
that is reaching out to your community you already have that supports you, to take you to the next level, and
yeah,
just reminding them, which I'm always so thankful for the people in my community. Like, I love them. Like, they're
yeah,
just like the other part of my family. That's why I always feel like I have to be here for them. But I'm
exactly.
excited about this retail store. Well, tell people where they can
Yeah.
find you and tell them about the app.
Yes, so the app is on Apple and Android. And again, it's the company name, Rajean Beauty. Again, that's Rajean, as
I
in
didn't even
Nancy.
put that in here.
Yes, Rajean Beauty, 2 words. It's a free download. My store is on there. If you were to go into the Shop Beauty Lab tab, you'll see a tab for shea butter, a tab for sugar scrubs, and I do also have a tab for our men's line that's there. I ship anywhere for $5. Orders over 40 ship for free. The app also has all of our video content, any promos that we're doing, photos. I write a blog. The link to that is there. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of it runs through the app. So if you download the app, you basically have me in your back pocket.
There you go. And what
Yeah.
are you listening to? What are you reading that's inspiring you or motivating you?
Most recently here, I was listening to Conversations with God on Audible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really good. Prior to that was, I believe it's called Essentialism. I would have to look and see the name of the author, but it's called Essentialism, and it's incredible. If I have to come back and put that in the notes, I can.
Is that a book or is that
It is.
Okay.
It's a book, but it was on Audible. I was listening on Audible.
Okay.
And then prior to that, I listened to The Alchemist.
The what?
The Alchemist? Yeah.
I've heard that too. I haven't listened to that yet. I need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so good. I always like to hear what people are listening or reading, and I like to share it with the community and also for myself because it always gives me more books. I'm a big audio book now because I don't have as much time to read.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lela, thank you so much. I mean, you've
you.
obviously been super inspiring for me, as well as the women in the community. I can hear from them. You guys, if you have any questions, please, you can DM Lela at Rajean Beauty, or you can DM me. Or if you put them in the comments, definitely let us know. I'm going to have this replay up for 24 hours. And then I'm going to schedule some time so I can get this video on YouTube. So that way it'll be available all the time. And this has been such a Rajean. Thank you. Rajean. I went crazy. Lela, thank you so much. It's part of who you are.
Right, exactly. You'd be surprised how often I get that.
Bell said, congratulations, #growth. Yes, I'm inspired. And I am too. Like, I really have enjoyed talking with you. I enjoyed talking with you when we talked a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life and talking with us and sharing your story, making me want to go to work like as soon as I leave here. And you guys
do that then.
I always do anyway. And don't forget to go on her app. You can purchase her body butters and her scrubs.
There it is.
Yes, and they are really, literally yummy. Like
yummy,
that
yummy.
Blueberry one, I could have eaten, but I didn't get that one because I thought I might eat it. So because it's
you don't want to do that.
I know. I don't want to eat shea butter, but it was really good. Girl, thank you we'll be in contact because I can't wait we might have to, when the shop opens, we might have to go over there and go live and hang out over there. So
yeah, we should.
I definitely will. So keep me posted. You guys make sure you download her app and follow her on all social media, and so you can see her journey and her growth, because y'all better do it now before she's big. I'm just saying.
Just throwing that out there.
Girl, thank you so much. Get in before it gets dark, daylight savings time.
I know, right? Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye, girl. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you didn't get to have them in here, I definitely want to share those with Lela, and I want to be able to answer any questions you guys have. She is phenomenal, and she's so flipping amazingly inspired. Like, I can't even, there's no reason and no complaints, and there's nothing should stop you. Just keep going forward and keep taking steps and keep your heart open to receive whatever God has in your path. You guys, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you go on there and get your shea butter